Cardano has been on a major run recently, however slowed up a bit today, but I think there's another move coming, and in today's episode we're going to look at the latest Cardano news as well as the Cardano charts to analyze and see exactly when Cardano is going to break out next. Hello guys, and welcome to the House of Crypto. I make videos on Cardano, Ethereum, as well as other cryptocurrencies. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in the markets. I'm also going to be doing a $50 Cardano giveaway in my next video, so if you want to be in a chance of winning that, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below to be in with a chance with winning. Without further ado then, let's jump into the first piece of Cardano news. Okay, so this piece of news over on CoinDesk from a few days ago. Cardano Venture Fund makes its first investment, 500k, into payments from Coty. What does this mean for us? Well, obviously, Cardano are trying to build their ecosystem. Okay, so all the companies that are kind of going to be built on the ecosystem. And as we look with Ethereum, that's obviously been a bit older, and many companies are existing on the Ethereum network. This helps the company and this helps the ecosystem grow and overall gain exposure. Okay, so this is a really exciting thing that Cardano are doing, and as you know, as time plays out, I can see this sort of investment happening more and more regularly. I've also got Gene Simmons, the lead singer of Kiss back in the day, also purchased $300,000 worth of Cardano. You know, a lot of these guys getting involved. Now, don't always be too sort of bought into the hype, because I'm sure a lot of these companies might be kind of paying celebrities, etc., to get involved, because obviously it gains them lots of exposure. But you know, lots of exposure is obviously a good thing, and the more people that know about this project, the better. And it's only getting more and more interest. And as the price goes up as well, you know, people are going to be talking about it more and more regularly. Jumping over to the daily hodl then, the top analyst says Cardano is undervalued and will print massive 10x gains. Now, a lot of news recently about, you know, 10x here's and 20,000 Ethereums and 50,000 Ethereum. You know, great news. Potentially these things can happen. But also, you know, in the sort of a shorter term, and we have sort of chart patterns that play out and give us set targets, it's kind of, you know, relatively straightforward to be able to predict some of these targets. But once we go kind of beyond a certain level, it just becomes almost a bit of speculation. And I want you to kind of be aware of what that kind of speculation might mean, what other people's interests are in the market. I'm not trying to scare anyone off, but always be aware of what's happening, and always do. This is why you should always be doing your own research. And I want to bring you onto something that I've talked about before when talking about Ethereum. That's our good friend, the Wall Street cheat sheet, which I've talked about a number of times. Now, obviously, you know, as the market goes and you yourself feel emotions, we all kind of like, the market is led by emotions ultimately. People wanting to buy and sell at certain prices, controlled by their emotions. And you know, once we kind of start getting up into these levels, which perhaps we've been feeling over the last few days, because obviously the whole market's been pumping, it gets very exciting. And you know, today we've seen Ethereum drop from $2,500 down to $2,400. Not a terrible drop, but you know, yesterday lots of people were texting me and hitting me up saying things like this, and you know, today then we kind of see the drop. So always be aware of what kind of everyone's saying, and you know, try to stay grounded. Okay, obviously, you know, I believe the bull market is far from over, and there's plenty of money still to be made. But always go away and do your own research, and always be aware. You know, everyone who's invested has obviously got some sort of a vested interest in what happens to something. So you know, they might be trying to manipulate or change the way things work, which is not obviously so easy on these big market cap coins like Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. But once you get down to the really small kind of coins, etc., and you've got guys pumping out lots of content on particular coins, and you always be aware of kind of like the hype and things you are hearing. So just to stay safe out there. Right then, let's jump straight back into the charts and have a look at Cardano today. As you can see, guys, we've taken a bit of a drop today. Yesterday we were hitting around the 1.5 level, and we're down today to around the 1.39. But you know, we're still on track. We've broken out of this big symmetrical triangle, and obviously we found a bit of resistance here, which kind of makes us look just kind of like a slightly larger chart pattern. So it was kind of expected that, you know, in the past we've had these all-time highs hit, and we were likely to see a bit of resistance at this level. So you know, obviously at the moment we're just having a bit of a consolidation phase, and that's fine. And as you can see, in terms of like a buying opportunity, what I'm looking at right now, if this position can hold here, as you can see, you know, this is struck once, seems to be striking twice, hasn't yet broken through. You know, in terms of buying opportunities, I won't be looking to buy immediately, but if this candle can close above this red line and then we have a bullish engulfing candle, so what would that look like? Be maybe slightly bigger than the previous candle in this pattern, be obviously bigger than this this candle here, obviously showing some buying pressure, then potentially we're going to move up towards the top of this triangle level here. And again, you know, what we would then like to see is for it to break out, perhaps come back and retest before continuing it onto the upside. You know, this whole large pattern is still in play. It might feel like, you know, today's been a bit slow, but after, you know, the gains of the last few days, it's always a bit, you know, bit of a downer when you hit a slightly slower day. So one thing I want to show you, if you look at this is on Cardano on the 4 hour. If we look at this symmetrical here, and we've got the larger triangle here, largely an ascending triangle. We've had this sort of bounce, and then I want to bring you up to just look at the Ethereum chart. Now, Ethereum, obviously a different project, but it's doing something fundamentally very similar to what Cardano did, and it's a bit more ahead of the curve. So if you see, we've got this symmetrical triangle, exactly the same as Cardano. We then came up and we had a bit of a bounce off of this previous high level, which obviously is the same as this ascending channel, and then we've broken into this channel before breaking out. And if we were to look at where Cardano was about here in terms of its current position, where it is at the time of making this video. And as you can see with Ethereum, what happened is it bounced to the top, bounced along a bit, eventually broke out, and then, you know, once it broke out, it then went for a huge run all the way up to approximately, what, 20%, nearly 19% yesterday, pretty much. Okay, so coming back to the Cardano then, you know, in terms of our targets, as I mentioned, you know, this pattern is still fully on, and I expect, you know, we're running out of time in terms of that current wedge pattern we're in. You know, in the next probably 8 to sort of 16 hours or so, it's likely that that's going to have to make a decision. Be aware that patterns like that can always break to the downside, right? That's why we don't tend to trade it until we break out and we have a confirmation. Okay, so that breakout we can take all the way up to here, and that takes us up to $1.90. You know, obviously as well, this is still an ascending triangle as well, so we can kind of take that size, same sort of size here, and bring it all the way up to this breakout point, which would then bring us up to the $2.09. In terms of a smaller breakout from this from this symmetrical triangle here, it would take us up to the $1.7 level, which, you know, from current levels, if we were to make it all the way up to that top of that breakout, that's 23%. You know, as I mentioned, that could happen very soon. Obviously, it would have to break out this pattern here, and we are going into the weekend when the volume does tend to be a bit lower, although I did say that with Ethereum, and it did move very fast. Which kind of did surprise me a bit. But in terms of where we are now to where I think, you know, we're going to be breaking out to eventually, perhaps might take a few more, or might take a week or so to play out. That's another 50% on current prices, which is obviously insane upside potential for anything really, given sort of the space and time available coming up. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's content. If you have, please smash up that like button and subscribe. As I mentioned, you know, the $50 Cardano giveaway will happen in my next video, so make sure you tune into that in order to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in the cryptocurrency market. If you're currently holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, etc., I recommend that you head over to BlockFi. I'll leave a link in the description below, because you can earn simple passive income paid in interest each month, something like 6% on your Bitcoin, 5.25% on Ethereum, as well as around 8% on USDT. So obviously, you know, if you're planning on holding for a long period of time, then it's an excellent place to go and store your crypto, because you can continue to make more money, and every month that's obviously going to compound as well. So, you know, you could be potentially sort of mining yourself more cryptocurrency for the future, which is obviously a really exciting thing. They're also going to bring out a new credit card, going to be one of the first crypto credit cards available, so you can get involved on that. So thanks very much for that. I'm also going to leave a link to another video which I made about an ICO called ProStarter, which is about to do its final initial coin offering. I think tomorrow it starts, so make sure you go and check that video out, where I cover more information about the video, as well as how you can get involved in that project, which has just been signed up to one of the big platforms, and it's also going to get launched on Uniswap at the start of May. So a really exciting project there. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time with another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.